remember the first time I really hated a movie. Like, there's always that one movie people remember that they saw in theaters that they just couldn't stand. But what made mine so interesting was I was 11 years old. You see, back then there was a movie called North, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Actually, it did so terribly they never released it on DVD in North America. But this movie had an all-star cast that had Dan Aykroyd, Bruce Willis, Elijah Wood, and on paper, you know, you get all these great actors and everything together, and you're like, hey, how could that go wrong? I mean, all-star cast that had a $40 million budget, you can't... It sounds like great. It's a kids movie, right? Well, I remember it being 11 years old when I saw this movie, and by the time it ended, I felt so disgusted that I wanted to punch a puppy. I'm not even joking with you. I never, you know, as a kid, I mean, for a kid to hate a kids movie, that's saying something. I mean, for God's sake, I liked Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal. In fact, I saw it twice in theaters. Alright, so to make a kids movie that kids hated, that's an accomplishment. You see, what North was about is a kid feels neglected from his parents, so he decides to divorce them. And he gets John Lovitz as his lawyer, and because his parents don't care about the kid so much, they don't even show up in court. So the judge is like, okay, you have, I think it was a month or a year, something along those lines, to find yourself a new family, or you get sent to a foster home. So the whole movie is this little kid traveling around the world as everybody's watching him to find a new family. And he has this buddy who works at the school newspaper. Mind you, these kids are like 10, 11, 12 years old. And his buddy starts monopolizing upon this, or I'm sorry, capitalizing on this, trying to get other kids to divorce their parents. So he's like this 12-year-old lawyer trying to get kids to divorce their parents so he can get money and popularity. But for that to work, he has to make sure North goes through with divorcing his parents. Okay? Right. So the first group that North meets up with is a Southern family whose father was played by Dan Aykroyd, and North discovers that this psychotic cowboy family are trying to fatten him up. Like, they keep force-feeding him all this food so that North could become like their dead son who died in a stampede. And on top of that, they even have a musical number describing all the torturous things they're going to do to North. Again, this is a kids movie, and they're trying to replace their dead son by force-feeding an 11-year-old to make him, huge. Then the second family is in Hawaii, and they're like, hey, you know what, we're going to exploit you for monetary gain by posting your naked butt, not even joking, your naked butt on all these billboards, saying, hey, North lives here. So he quits that family. And finally, eventually, he makes it to some family in, I don't know, Europe or something, and everything's all happy-go-lucky, but he realizes, hey, even though my parents neglect me and ignore me and didn't even go to my divorce hearing, I miss my original parents. So he has one day left to go to his parents before the court deadline sets. But his friend, mind you, this 12-year-old kid, hires a hitman. Seriously, hires this drunken, drug, homeless guy to kill North. And I'm not just saying fake it. I'm talking about he gets a gun and tries to assassinate an 11-year-old. Wrap your mind around this. This is a kid's movie. Alright, I'm in the theater with a bunch of kids, most of them younger than me. And we're seeing a film for kids about assassinating kids. Can you really believe that? And he's not like, oh, I grow a conscience, I'm going to let the kid relax and No, he actually keeps trying to shoot North near the last part of this film. So it's almost the deadline, you know, and his friend, this newspaper kid, keeps trying to get in the way. His parents are in this shopping center. All North has to do is get to them by midnight. North runs to them. He's all excited. He's all happy. Then this chair turns around, and who he thought was Santa Claus, because it's like Christmas at this time, is actually the assassin, pulls the gun and shoots North dead. I'm not even lying. He just straight up aims and fires, and North is gone. And everyone in the theater has their like jaws in their lap. This is a kid's film. The main character gets shot, and all of a sudden the screen flashes white, and North wakes up in the mall. It was a dream. The whole movie was a dream. You see, when North divorces his parents, Bruce Willis shows up. I'm not even lying. Bruce Willis constantly appears throughout the whole movie as different people. A fisherman when he's in Hawaii, a cowboy when he's with Dan Aykroyd. I believe he was some kind of mailman when the kid was in Europe or something. I can't really remember 100%, but Bruce Willis is the kid's guardian angel. And apparently the whole movie is Bruce Willis put the kid in a coma, put him to sleep, and showed the kid that his parents, who constantly neglect him, aren't as bad as everyone else in the world. Something like that. So I remember being there in the theater, 11 years old. The credits start rolling, and it's the first time I was actually pissed off at a movie. Seriously, I mean, to make a kids film where kids hated it, and kids are dumb, kids like everything. I mean, that's why, you know, VeggieTales is so popular. If it's shiny and silly, kids love it. It's hard to mess up a kids film for little kids. Look at the Chipmunk movies. Kids love the new Chipmunk movies. Alright? But they messed up this movie so badly that they won't even release the DVD in North America. In fact, Ebert and Ropert, they panned the hell out of it. Ebert himself said, and I quote to the best of my ability, "I hate this movie. I hate the fact I had to review it. I hate the fact I had to watch it. I hate the fact the movie exists." I'm not 100% accurate on that, but you can just easily look up that quote up. Pretty sure that's as close to what he said. But it made $4 million or $7 million, one of those two, out of the $40 million budget. I mean, I think Kazam did better than that, and that movie was horrible. But kids still liked it because it's Shaquille O'Neal as a genie. But here you got Dan Aykroyd and Elijah Wood and Bruce Willis. It's like, didn't they read the script? Didn't they understand how horrible this idea was of having a kid abandon his parents, who abandoned him, only to have the kid be exploited, then assassinated? What kind of message is that? But yeah, so there you go. That is the first time I was legitimately pissed off at a movie. From the god-awful writing to the very confusing plotline to the violence, and of course the whole, you know, screw you to the audience, it's all a dream. I can easily say that North is the first movie that I ever hated.